So you're thinking about buying a new home because maybe you're running out of space. Maybe you have a child on the way. Maybe you have family that's coming to stay with you, like a parent or a sibling or something. Or maybe you just want to be able to rent out part of your house to be able to reclaim part of that housing payment. We call that house hacking. Or you got a new hobby, you need a place to put it. When we're working with clients, there's 3 things that we talk through that I want you to think about. Number 1 is going to be the timeline. When do you want to move? Number 2 is going to be the budget. What can you afford? And then number 3 is going to be, what are you looking for? So let's break those down a little bit more. Number 1, the timeline. Timeline is not just when would you like to move, it's when do you need to move and why. So just because you have a specific time frame in mind, my first questions are usually, okay, you want to move April of next year, for instance. Perfect. If we found the perfect house before then, would that be an issue and why? And then if we couldn't find the right house before then, would that also be an issue and why? And the reason we do this is because we want to figure out exactly what those constraints are so we can plan appropriately. A successful home search is all about planning well, and that's something that we're absolutely expert advisors at. And so timeline is a huge part of that because different communities are going to be available to move into at different times. And particularly with new construction, sometimes it's really on a good set schedule, and sometimes it's really unpredictable. That was something we definitely saw during COVID. And what we're going to do is come up with at least an initial really good idea of what that window is that we're going to try to move between. So number 2, budget. Also equally important, and that's why these 2 came first. We got to know what we're shopping for a few different reasons. One, when we get to what we're looking for in a home, you can get the same end result depending on the goal, multiple different ways. Some ways are going to be more economical. Some ways are going to be a lot nicer. It really depends on what your goal is specifically and why. And that's going to then inform the strategy we take to make sure we're respectful of the budget, particularly that monthly payment if you are actually, getting a loan and not paying all cash up front. And we're going to figure out how we can get you the best deal possible within what you're comfortable and get the best home possible within that budget. In order to figure out the budget, what we're going to do is we're going to talk to an expert lender. We have a few that we work with that are our preferred lenders. And then also all the builders usually have their own preferred lenders. And so what we're going to do is have you talk to them. They're the experts in all things mortgages and lending, and they're going to be able to tell you the best possible way to get what you want. The key thing you need to know is make sure you get pre-approved so we have a solid budget. If you've done a mortgage calculator online, that's awesome, but they're not always accurate. And what we want to do is make sure that we actually have something solid, because until you have a pre-approval, we can't write offers. And we don't want to help you find a home you love and then have somebody buy it out from under you, because it's a heart-wrenching experience. And, I don't want that for any of my clients. One thing I do want to also kind of make a note on, just like not all realtors are created the same, not all mortgage brokers are created the same. We'd be happy to introduce you to some people that are absolutely awesome. We don't get anything out of it other than making sure that you get a very good client experience. So if that's something you'd be interested in, give us a call, shoot us a text, whatever's easiest, and we'll make sure to introduce you to someone. If you happen to be watching this video and you're not looking in Charlotte, still reach out. We can help you nationally. The third thing was going to be what we're looking for. There's a few different things that are going to go into this, and the primary ones are going to be, what's that average lifestyle going to look like on the day-to-day? So what's going to be around where you live? What is going to be the feel of it? Because it's got to feel like home. And then also the third and most important thing, what is the day-to-day lifestyle inside the house that's going to matter? And what are those specific things we got to find in order to make sure that day-to-day inside of the house is going to be what you're looking for? And so then we're going to take those, list them down, and then break it into a needs and a wants list. And the reason we do this is because we want to get you as many options as possible for you to look at, because you obviously want the best selection possible. That's how you get the best deals. It's how you get the happiest experience with your home buying process. And it's how you know for a fact that you've seen everything that you could have bought, and you without a doubt know that you bought what you actually wanted. That's how you have the best experience possible. We only look at things that have all the needs, but the wants are things that are nice to haves and are not necessarily absolutely necessary, like need to haves. I cannot tell you the number of times that someone thought that it was a need, and then we went into a house that didn't have it, but it had something else that was just a little bit better fit, and they absolutely loved the house. And they were very, very happy for years. Actually, this happened with my parents growing up too. They had a very specific idea of what they were looking for, and it changed a little bit throughout that searching process. And then what they ended up buying was so much better because they were keeping an open mind on those want to haves. You will learn over time as you start to look at houses, as you start to become the expert in your own home search. There's no such thing as the perfect home. No home is going to be perfect ever. It doesn't exist. And from all the literally thousands of people I've talked to at this point, there's never been the perfect house. There's been some really, really good houses. Even the people that are the most concerned with finding the perfect house end up being the people that also, when we have found what was the perfect house, they added a new thing to the list. And so it's not so much actually finding the house as it is finding the right mindset that helps you to enjoy the house that does functionally provide what you need. I could go on about that for a while, but again, the key thing here is what is the absolutely necessary need to haves in your day-to-day life, inside the house, outside the house, and then when you find it and it feels like home, how do we know that it feels like home? I would be happy to dive into this in way more depth. There's a link, I believe, down in the description. If not in the description, definitely if you go to the channel page, up in the banner in the top right, there's also going to be something there. Reach out with questions. I'm always here to help. Happy to help. I love helping people find their brand new beautiful house, make a smooth move in and around Charlotte. I would be more than happy to help you do so too. So if this is your first time to the channel or you haven't checked out the new construction home properties yet, we have access to all the on and off market new construction home properties, and you can get access and unlock complete access to all of those by also clicking on the link down in the description, scanning the QR code we'll put on somewhere on the screen. I'm the team leader with the Living in Charlotte team at eXp Realty. As always, until next time, my name is Lucas Roller and hope to show you around town.